the AFC South, which, David, I know you got a lot of ties to. You want to start with that division?
Yeah, I'll start off. And it's no bias right here.
Okay.
Not at all, but
Okay.
Colts win the division. And they're winning the division because top to bottom, you take away the quarterback position, they're a very deep team. And
But
that
the quarterback
offensive
division,
line,
the quarterback is one of the most important pieces.
yeah, it is. But that offensive line,
Mm-hmm.
phenomenal. One of, if not, for sure, a top 3 O-line in the league. You could debate. They have a great case for being number 1.
Only if they had
The
it for
running
luck.
back. Yeah, they waited way too long for that. And the running backs, with the addition of Jonathan Taylor, that's you got Marlon Mack, Jonathan Taylor, Nyheim Hines. And Hines is going to be vital to Phillip Rivers because he does like his receiving running backs. So you got those weapons there. At tight end, you got Doyle, who's slept on.
Mm-hmm.
You got Trey Burton, who signed a big contract in Chicago, signed for a really cheap contract here in Indy. And
when did he sign?
He signed at the very beginning of free agency. It was
one
that just went right under the radar.
Yeah, I remember when he got released, and I kind of wanted the Niners to take a look at him at least.
They signed him for, I think, like $3 million. Very cheap.
That's good.
It's going to be great because, he's not going to have many expectations, and he's just going to be another target there in the pass game. And then at receiver, you got T.Y. Key for that offense almost is T.Y. staying healthy because time and time again proves that when T.Y. doesn't play for the Colts, they're just not the same.
They can't move.
So they need him to do great. Zach Pascal, who showed out a little bit last year, he's going to be a somewhat reliable target there, at the 2 or 3 spot at wide receiver. You got Parrish Campbell, who had a disappointing rookie season but had a lot of injuries. He's a burner. He needs to prove himself this year. And then you got Michael Pittman Jr., who I was very happy with them drafting, star receiver at SC. And he fits the mold of a receiver that Phillip Rivers likes to throw to,
Mm-hmm.
I saw one comparison, I think it was Reggie Wayne, but I think he compared Michael Pittman to Vincent Jackson. Very similar, body type and everything. And Rivers played with Jackson earlier in the career, so like if they could kind of get, a little connection there going. And then on the defensive side of the ball, one of the better best D-line in that division. They have for sure a top 10 D-line in the league with the addition of DeForest Buckner. And you got your linebacker. The linebacker core is getting better. The secondary, they added Xavier Rhodes, which is
I don't trust.
I mean, they only signed him for I think like $2 million. So
who are your starting corners again?
So the starting corners are Kenny Moore. Well, he's a slot, but he's always on the field. It's Kenny Moore, who's fantastic. People don't talk about this guy enough. Then they got Rock Ya-Sin, the rookie who struggled early last year, but second half of the season was put up, really great coverage stats. And then you got Xavier Rhodes, Marvell Tell, who I did think was going to get some snaps this year at corner. He opted out of the season. But, I mean, like the secondary is what's shaky about the team. Not just corners. Corner depth is what's a little shaky. They did sign T.J. Carey as a depth signing, who's not bad. They signed him,
that's a special team signing right there.
Yeah, but so the cornerback positions are the weak link on the team because the safeties I think are solid as well because Malik Hooker just needs to stay healthy. But when he plays, he balls. And then Kari Willis, who was one of the better rookie safeties last year. And they added their Julian Blackman, the safety from Utah. So I think all around this team is great. But like we said, coming back to, what you said, quarterback vital. But what I've been seeing from training camp so far, a lot of reports too, that with this great O-line now with Rivers, he had an awful O-line in LA last year. Bottom 3 O-line, automatically going to a top 3 O-line. And I heard that he's getting the ball out quick, which I like to see because Jacoby just he goes through his reads a little bit. He holds on the ball a little too long. And that's
what
why
he did. He didn't get a lot of playing time early in his career. And this is that was like the first playing time he really got last year.
But I think that they're going to be a run-first team. And if Rivers could do the quick stuff and, kind of keep the defense honest with some deep throws, his arm's a little shot, but he's not afraid to throw it down the field, for better or for worse. So it will keep defenses honest, maybe not stack that box as much, and it'll give opportunities for Mack and Taylor to excel. But I have them winning it. And like I said, every day I see that jersey hanging on my wall, and it hurts because if Luck didn't retire, this would have been a Super Bowl contending team last year. For sure, they're even better this year. And if Luck didn't retire, they would have been right there with the Chiefs and Ravens potentially, but they're not. They got Rivers, and as solid as a team as it is, the team's going to go as far as Rivers takes them. But I think the team's just too deep for the Colts not to win the division. And also because every team in the division, with maybe the exception of Tennessee, has gotten worse. Jacksonville, like we said, they could be the front runner for the Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes. Houston trading and getting absolutely fleeced in the DeAndre Hopkins trade. So they've gotten a little worse. I mean, Deshaun Watson, he is a winner. He's a winner, and he's going to get them wins. But the Texans overall as a team has digressed, and it's going to be a two-team race between the Colts and Titans. But I got to go with the Colts here because the Titans last year, I mean,
You think
if
it was
you
a
shut
fluke?
down Derrick Henry, they got a solid defense, but Ryan Tannehill is just not the answer there. I mean, you could say the same about Rivers and the Colts, but I think top to bottom, the Colts have a more solid roster, more deep roster than the Titans do on paper.
Just before I get into my stuff, I thought you were talking about your fake Jonathan Taylor jersey at first, before you said your Andrew Luck jersey.
Oh no, that jersey, what was it? It was $25 on DHgate, man. I mean, can't go wrong.
Yeah, you can't pass that up.
You can't pass that up. I think JT, he's going to be a stud. Because unfortunately, I love Marlon Mack, but I think this might be his last year with the horseshoe. Because he's solid, and he might get decent payday somewhere else, and then you put Jonathan Taylor there at the number one running back next season. But this season, you're going to have Mack starting, Taylor there, and we'll see what happens. The plan is to split carries, but I do think that there's a chance by the end of the season that Taylor could be the running back number one.
Would you like Fournette on the Colts?
I mean, if they signed him for cheap, and you had that three-headed monster.
Like if I said like a 1 year $5 million, 1 year $7 million, potentially up to 10. 1 year $5 million, potentially up to 10.
I would take it because then you just have. Then it would also take a little more pressure off of Rivers because then you could just be pounding that rock and you got guys at Taylor, Mack, Hines, and Fournette. They're very different, but they excel in their own ways. So that could be just a deep, deep running back room. If they sign Fournette, it's going to be the best running back room in the league. No doubt. And like I said, it would take pressure off of Rivers. So I wouldn't be opposed to it, but I do think that and also too, but think about Fournette, if you really wanted to stick it to the Jags, what better way to, go to a division rival and play them twice a year and just, really prove that they made a mistake. So I wouldn't be opposed to it, but at the moment I can't see it happening.
I'll get into mine real quick and then we can go over who we think who's going to make the playoffs, and we can probably get into Super Bowl stuff too if you want. So I got same way. I got Colts taking the division. I think the team around Philip Rivers is too good not to make the playoffs and not to win that division. Especially, honestly, I just think the rest of the teams are bad in that division. Jaguars, we already talked about that. It's just you have DJ Chark, who I like, but I mean he's not even spectacular yet. The wide receiver core is solid, but they have nothing else. Titans, I don't believe in Ryan Tannehill that much to believe that he's going to make the playoffs again. I just think that they're going to stack the box, and I get that it worked later in the season that Derrick Henry is mowing teams down, but early in the season they need to have that happen, and I don't think that that's possible. I think teams are just going to stack the box, make Ryan Tannehill make the throws, and I don't think he's going to make them. Honestly, their defense is all right, but I don't believe in Ryan Tannehill enough. Deshaun Watson and the Texans, I like them. I don't like Bill O'Brien. I don't know what he's doing there. I don't think anybody knows what they're doing there. I don't even think Bill O'Brien knows what he's doing. But he's somehow in charge, making the decisions. Surprised he hasn't traded away Deshaun Watson for another tackle or something. I don't know how he's still there, but he keeps winning. You can't fault the record. He makes the playoffs. So they're one of the most confusing teams in the league, honestly. They got fleeced in that DeAndre Hopkins trade. Basically gave him up to the Cardinals and got rid of the Cardinals' biggest burden. A running back on a big contract that was probably going to get released and just get his money. Instead, they trade him for a top-tier player, and the Cardinals get better, and the Texans get picks that aren't even that good. But, yeah, the Colts, their defense, I think, is too good. Their defense and their offensive line, I think they're just going to dominate teams this year. And the running game with Jonathan Taylor and Marlon Mack, It's going to be a little three-headed monster, a little Austin Eckler-ish how Phillip Rivers had it with the Chargers. But I think that they're going to be too much to handle, especially in that division. I just think that division's too weak to actually take on the Colts. So I think the Colts they'll take games by default.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, like the division's there for the taking because some of the teams are like they just got worse this year. There's no better way to put it. And the Colts did improve their team. I mean, whether you could say Rivers is an improvement over Jacoby, that's debatable.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do believe that Rivers is, an improvement over Jacoby, they did get better in almost every position, from this past year. And that's not easy to do for some teams, especially teams that, were started the year 5-2 and were in late playoff contention until, December of the previous season. So I see the Colts, they're going to probably get the 4th seed, they'll win it. And the Titans, I've been seeing on some people's season predictions, the Titans getting wild card spots, all that, but I just can't see it because, like you said, all you got to do is stack the box, make Ryan Tannehill beat you. And in those 3 playoff games last season that the Titans played in, I think Tannehill averaged like 140 passing yards a game. I mean, that's just
even Jimmy was throwing for more than that.
Exactly. So I mean, he's just a game manager where he's not gonna mess up a game for you. He's not gonna really lose it. But if you really need him to go down the field and win it, he's not gonna do it for you.
Yeah, we're on the same page there.